What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, thanks to Shozy Store, we're going to be checking out the Machine Capsule upgrade kit for the Transformers Studio series Rise of the Beasts Leader Class Scourge. Now, if you would like this or any of the previously released kits, then definitely be sure to check out the links down below. And as we check out the upgrades included, up first is one pretty mean looking head sculpt. To pair along with that is one complete battle damaged faceplate. Finally, a fully articulated electromagnetic claw, complete with the tracking device which Scourge savagely infects Airazor with in the movie. One brand new forearm, complete with a fully articulated hand and this sick looking energized blade. One brand new neck filler, and something which is definitely worth bearing in mind with this kit is that it does only retail for around $25, but unfortunately that does come at a cost, and that cost would be the plastic quality. The second I installed this, unfortunately the left hand side literally snapped clean off, which is why you can kind of see a visible glue stain. That kind of sucks, and the plastic quality across the kit overall isn't too great, so definitely know that going into this kit there is a reason why it is so cheap, and it is because the plastic stacked up alongside the likes of DNA design unfortunately isn't too impressive. But with that being said, some of the upgrades are still pretty decent. So next up we have a pair of kind of thigh fillers. Hopefully these are going to thicken out Scourge's legs to better match what we actually saw in the movie. And to pair with those, a brand new set of shin pads, which once again I'm definitely hoping are going to massively thicken Scourge up. And bang! Here we have Scourge fully upgraded, and honestly, for an upgrade kit which does retail for around $25, I think this is mostly a banger. If you are after an affordable, cheaper alternative to the upcoming DNA design kit, then I definitely think this one here is worth checking out, although just bearing in mind that there are some tolerance issues, and when it comes to kind of the plastic quality, unfortunately it's not quite up to par with some of those other upgrade kits. But as we check out the details, the head sculpt I actually think looks kind of sick. Definitely an improvement in some ways when compared to the Studio Series version, one of those being that the neck is now finally considerably smaller to better match what we saw in the film. The electromagnetic claw though is banging, easily the best part about the kit. The plastic quality feels on par with the actual Hasbro product when it comes to this piece, so that's wicked, and it is way more articulated, so you can now rotate it at the base to kind of reenact the look in the film where it is charging up to wipe out Bumblebee or Ape-Link, and the claws are individually articulated at two distinctive points, so those are wicked. The tracking device can also be removed and you can replace it with the arm blaster, so to kind of match the look in the film where the claw would transform into the arm cannon. And as we check out this side, it's also packing some upgrades. So for example, the fingers are now fully articulated individually, although one thing you are definitely going to want to take caution of would be this arm blade. Whilst it looks savage in its design, it's also savage in the way it can be used, so not only will it impale Autobots, but it will definitely impale tell humans. There has been so many times when I've been transforming this guy and this thing has stuck in me and it hurts like a mother. So I would completely avoid giving this to younger collectors at all costs. And as we check him out here from the side, you guys may have noticed I did replace the chest unit, and that's because he's packing some inbuilt gap fillers, which I will say are barely noticeable in robot mode and are an absolute pain in the ass to install. So honestly, unless you're super pressed about them, I would recommend just to leave them off to the side. But as we check out the gap fillers that we have for the legs, these are brilliant. The only downside would be that unfortunately they don't quite match the colour of plastic. They do kind of stick out like a sore thumb, but they definitely are super effective in their design. They now completely fill in those ugly gaps that originally we had on the inside of the leg, and they thicken out the design to better match what we saw in the movie. And not to mention, they completely cover the inaccurate trailer hitch. So definitely an improvement, and if you're into customization, then I think you can do a really good job in kind of blending them into the sculpt, because they don't have to be removed when you transform him into his truck mode. So overall, decent upgrade kit considering the price point. And now let's check out what lays beneath that faceplate. And for this feature, you are going to want to channel your inner Optimus Prime and command Scourge to give you his face. So basically just wriggle the faceplate clean off and check that out. Lays beneath is the true face of Scourge, which looks horrifying. And if you happen to whack out that additional battle damaged faceplate, which I showcased previously, whilst not accurate to the movie, you can give Scourge this two-faced look. Check out how you can kind of see the inner workings of the face beneath the faceplate. That is kind of sick, and I think going forwards will definitely be how I'll be displaying this upgrade kit on the shelf. And checking out the truck mode to show you guys how he looks once fully transformed, mostly exactly the same. All of the upgrade pieces integrate into the original transformations, so when transforming from robot into truck and then into the opposite direction, nothing needs to be removed, which for a kit which does retail for roughly $25, I thought was a massive positive. But the downside to that price tag is that much like in robot mode, there are some tolerance issues. So for example, this arm doesn't snap into place anymore, which means the door does kind of sit off to a slight angle. It's not the biggest deal, but it's definitely something I thought was worth bearing in mind. And as we check him out here from the back, because there are now way more upgrades from certain angles, he does come across to be a little more uglier, but to be fair, from the side it's barely noticeable. And despite the blade being much larger than the original Hasbro version, it completely integrates into the transformation, so it doesn't drag along the ground. This guy still rolls out like an absolute dream, so should have no issues in fighting alongside the Terracons against the Autobots. And so, wrapping up on this review for the Machine Capsule upgrade kit for the Studio Series Leader Class Scourge. For the price point, I think it's an absolute banger. The only downside to the kit overall, I would say, would be the plastic quality. Now, some pieces feel better than others, but there definitely is a downgrade in the quality when compared to the likes of, let's say, DNA Design. So if you are picking this up with the mindset that it is going to be as good as some of those slightly more expensive alternatives, then unfortunately, I do think you're going to be slightly let down, because some pieces are a little brittle. I mean, as I mentioned previously, I installed a component and within a couple of seconds, a piece sheared clean off. Now, since I've glued it, there hasn't been any issues at all. So as long as you take care when handling this guy and just know that he's nowhere near as robust as he was originally, then I don't think you should have too many issues. And it's definitely cool to finally see more affordable alternatives when it comes to upgrade kits. So if you're not a huge fan on paying kind of double the price of the upcoming DNA Design kit, then I definitely think this is worth checking checking out, because this does a decent job in making Scourge slightly more accurate to what we finally saw in the Rise of the Beast movie. I would love to get your thoughts on this machine capsule kit down in the comment section below. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and until my next review, transform and roll out!